So, I don't know who needs to hear this, but women are allowed to be broke. Yep, I said it. It's men that are not allowed to be broke. It's you men that are not allowed to be broke. And the only men that are going to have a problem with what I'm saying are broke men, stingy men, and men that are not providers. This whole what does a woman bring to the table debacle, that's why I never understood why a woman would be offended when a man calls her broke when she asks him for money. Like, duh, I'm supposed to be broke. I'm supposed to be a damsel in distress. Dummy. You're never going to know how much money I make, if I make any at all. Because, bottom line, a man that got money ain't checking for a woman who got money. A man that is secure in his finances is not checking to see what old girl is bringing to the table financially.
So this is the same age-old argument, right? That ends with you being shamed for wanting anything from a woman, like in terms of responsibility and in terms of capability. The fact that a man is good with his money, he's going to want someone that's going to be a good steward of that money. It makes no sense that he took the time to build something for himself, to make himself someone, something, and an absorbent amount of money just to give to someone that doesn't know the value of it because they're not good with money. They don't know anything about money. They've never had money. I know the narrative is that men don't really care about what a woman does. We don't care about it in the sense that it's not the most important thing. Not saying doesn't matter. Not saying that we want someone that's bad with money that has a credit score lower than her SATs. No, we want something that want someone that is good with these things that you don't necessarily have to get it out the mud with or have to come someone there and fix someone up. The idea that you get to be broke or you get to be less than a functioning adult is really asinine. It's really asinine to think that men, that especially the men have made something of themselves that have their choice of women, they're going to pick someone that is bad with money. No, this is one of those things that's just as simply an excuse to let you get away with bad behavior. And I think we do a disservice to when we talk about or these conversations about men, and it makes it seem like they don't know what they want or they don't understand that they have a choice. They have their pick. And if they want someone that's bad with money, they can easily find that. Most of us are bad with money. But if you're choosing, if you made something yourself and you're choosing, you're going to choose the best that you can across the board. And nine times out of 10, it's not someone that's bad with money. It's not someone that's made tons of of poor life decisions. And listen, before you continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. Still going strong, still trying to do two a day, still trying to pay this rent. So I'm going to try to play this one back because there's a couple points in here that I want to go over that I think are important. But one of the first things before we get to that is understanding that when you have your choice, when you've taken your time, and let's not forget how difficult it is for you to build something of value, of wealth, of substance in the United States today or wherever you're listening. Um, to then think that a man that has gone through that, and even you can throw that and say with women, that you're not going to be careful with who you pick to be your partner. We all understand. We've seen plenty of interviews of people that are, really wealthy millionaires who's saying the most important thing that you're going to pick is who your spouse is. This is something we all can get in the process of you making money, of taking that time because it's a time thing. You're going to have to be, make informed decisions and sometimes decisions on the fly rapidly. Sometimes you can take your time and do research. You're not going to make a decision on the fly and who to be with, who's your spouse going to be with. You're going to take the time to vet them. You want to understand where they are, what they're doing, where they're coming from. What we often see online is when we s- we frame the argument that a man with money, he doesn't care what you do with money. And if you disagree, then you must be broke. We've already framed this entire outlook to make it seem as if the person setting this up can't be wrong, or if you disagree with them, there's your little box where you can remain in. The fact is, most people don't know people with that type of money. You don't have access to them. You don't know where they are. And if you do know them, you don't know them intimately. Because if you did, you'd look and see, no, most people get with people who are around them. Forget social media, forget dating apps. Most people are going to date within their circle. Their circle tends to be made up of people of similar social economic standing. So if you are broke or you are having conversations like this about men not caring about your money, I'm pretty confident to tell you that you're off base here. That those people in those circles who dating those around them, their spouses, are people of prestige, of some sort of educational or socioeconomic background similar to theirs. It's not like we make it seem from the talking point born, in the male spaces. We don't care what you do. He'll take the girl that's working, McDonald's versus the one with the PhD. Yeah, on the surface that may be true, but beneath that it's saying if the one at McDonald's treats him right, if the one at McDonald's is more feminine, if the one at McDonald's is more appreciative, not just simply because she's got tons of debt, becomes less and less important. But these top three things are more important. It's not just a simple thing and a talking point that is trying to be used and twisted to determine to say, yeah, you need to make the money as a man, and I need very, very little responsibility. Very little things should be coming from me.
So I don't know who needs to hear this, but women are allowed to be broke. Yep, I said it. It's men that are not allowed to be broke. It's you men that are not allowed to be broke. And the only men that are going to have a problem with what I'm saying are broke men, stingy men, and men that are not providers.
It's almost the same as I'm saying that in this sort of rebuttal to this, only Golding and women would disagree with me. It frames it in such a way that it stems people from having a genuine conversation about whatever talking point you have here, and it's something that maybe me pointing out now you'll see more and more of it online, or more of it in your casual conversation with the people. At that point, you sometimes understand it's just better to walk away.
This whole what does a woman bring to the table debacle. That's why I never understood why a woman would be offended when a man calls her broke when she asks him for money.
You should be offended. It's your life that you've made. You've created your life circumstances, and you can't manage it financially. That is something that you should be ashamed of. Not in a sense that shame on you for not being able to get this done, but shame on you for thinking that it's not your responsibility to make sure you can pay your bills, to make sure that you can survive some sort of emergency if there's no man around, if there's no saving grace, if there's no uh, um government assistance. That should be shameful, and that's a genderless thing. Again, we understand it when like she started this thing. Only men aren't allowed to be broke. We recognize that. I mean, we call men broke men. We call them broke. We call them bums. We don't do the same with women. We just look and say, "Oh, you need help. Oh, you're struggling again. Oh, it's the first of the month." We make all these excuses for poor behavior, but at the end of the day, it's still sort of poor behavior because the truth is, most of us are not going to find someone else to help us out with. Most people, and with the projection saying most women are going to be, or I forgot the number, but the rate of singleness is going to jump in the next coming years. So it's not a thing to be proud of. We should bring back a little bit of shame when it comes down to talking about just finances. You can't get this right because you've been taught to overspend. And this is me giving people an out. You've been taught to overspend. You've been taught that your life needs to be held in comparison to someone else's, and it's always going to feel like you're missing something. So therefore, you need to spend more money.
Like, duh, I'm supposed to be broke. I'm supposed to be a damsel in distress. Dummy. You're never going to know how much money I make, if I make any at all. Because bottom line,
So, all right, and we get the damsel in distress idea, that notion. That's come from childhood programming, from us watching these heroic, movies or Disney movies where there's supposed to be a man that comes and rescues you. But again, stats are telling us something very different. Reality should tell us very different. Using this as an excuse why you don't have your life together, or using this as an excuse why you don't want to tell people, tell your significant other, tell a man how much you make, or simply to manufacture brokenness so you can have more assistance. We have to remember, and I'll end on this. We have to remember that men are not dumb. Men are paying attention. Men see how they're being used just for their wallets or what they can produce. And largely, a larger growing, the large growing group of men saying they're single have no idea or no desire for marriage because they see that this is what the narrative that's being pushed. And again, we can understand that this narrative is probably more of a false one. This this divisiveness that is sort of created artificially, I think, by constantly pumping and recycling content like this. Listen, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. If you see videos on your screen right now, take a look at those. In those videos, tell me what you think of those as well. And of course, if you listen to the sound of my voice right now, just get on the train. We got to go pay the rent. See you in the next one.